just, like a month ago, came down to St. Louis to go pick up his brother. His girlfriend texted my phone. We would like to see Kaya. I said, that's fine. You guys cannot take her out, but you guys can meet her. I waited at my house for a whole weekend for them. No show. Oh, Sean's getting ready to bring her some diapers. No show. But I'm communicating with your girlfriend because you won't talk to me.
Yeah. So you on my page. Yeah. I didn't contact you. So you've been saying for all this time that this is his child. So me and him are bickering because of this. You brought me into this. I had nothing to do with what y'all had going on.
But you kept involving yourself. Why?
Ladies. How does she know what I'm saying?
Ladies.
Mr. Muhammad believes that 2-year-old Brooklyn belongs to him. And why shouldn't he? He was in a relationship with the baby's mother at the time she was conceived. But the woman in question, Ms. Walton, says she was cheating on Mr. Muhammad every day for a month. So she knows he isn't the baby's father. Here is how that case begins.
Mr. Muhammad, you are here to prove that you are the father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Brooklyn. You claim the only reason she is denying paternity is because she wants to be in a relationship with the other man. Is that correct?
Yes, Sean.
Ms. Walton, you say you were secretly cheating on Mr. Muhammad and had sex with the other man almost every day of the month. And there is no way Mr. Muhammad is Brooklyn's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is interesting. When people come on paternity court to prove that they are the father, they usually talk about the kid having their facial features. And most times you really can't see those features. But with Mr. Muhammad, you can kind of see it. But that does not matter because facial features are still not DNA tests. Let us see what Ms. Walton thinks about all of this.
I say that because during my conception date, I was having more sexual intercourse with the other guy than Mr. Muhammad.
And you were having sex with this other guy behind his back, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The nature of our relationship was Anwar was already having an affair with another woman before he had moved in with me. And during that time, while he was having his affair, I was having my affair also.
Really? Well, this happens a lot more often than you'd think. A man would be having an affair with someone and then his wife finds out. And instead of leaving the relationship, she just starts her own affair. It is more common than people realize. But Mr. Muhammad has a different understanding of those events.
We was together. She told me that this gentleman was her cousin. I didn't think nothing of it.
She told you the other guy was her cousin?
Was her cousin. Her cousin.
That's not true, Your Honor. He's always known this guy.
I know.
He was.
That's the other man that she wanted to be with.
So you're saying you were in a relationship?
In a relationship.
And you're saying you were not in a relationship when Brooklyn was conceived?
No, we was not in a relationship. We were just living together.
Well, what can I say, Mr. Muhammad? Women do be cheating, and sometimes they do be cheating on you with a dude they call their cousin, and sometimes they get pregnant from all that cheating and drag you to paternity court to determine who the baby's father is. It is just something that happens. What are you gonna do? So, is there any chance that Mr. Muhammad could be the father at all?
Were you still intimate with Mr. Muhammad during that time as well?
Yes, I was.
All right.
Wow. Wow.
So you were sleeping with them both?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened was I came home, she sleep, I looked at her phone, I started seeing a full-fledged text message about having sex, all that stuff. Y'all having a full relationship behind my back.
You got that one right, Mr. Muhammad. When the legs stop going up on your shoulders, it is going up on somebody else's shoulders. And that is just the gospel truth. So what happened after that?
So she started to act funny, started to be rebellious, and started to do funny things. So that drove red flags to me. I grabbed the phone, I started looking at the text message, I see the conversation between her and the gentleman.
Okay.
I confront her about it.
What did the conversation say?
Basically saying that we having sex, period. Sending pictures back and forth with each other, they sending body part pictures, all that stuff.
Get with the program, Mr. Muhammad. That isn't her cousin. That is the dude she sneaks off to hotels with. Mr. Muhammad thinks that the baby is his because they already have a child and were supposedly in a loving relationship. Here is how he puts it.
And I'm thinking I'm the only one that she sees. I did not, like I said, I did not know nothing about the gentleman. And if you look at Brooklyn and look at me, we look alike, similar alike. Everything is alike.
I feel she got more of my features.
Everything alike. She's smart like me.
Nope, they do not. So it's great that the kid is smart, but that does not matter when it comes to the question of paternity. Smart kids get born to all sorts of parents, but Mr. Muhammad isn't done just yet.
I know the date. The date was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. We was in the mood. She was in the mood. She go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we have, Brooklyn.
Do you remember this date, Ms.
On the
Walton?
scene.
Your Honor,
know.
I remember us having sex at my house, not his mother's house.
This is just so messy, and it is about to get even messier because the other man in question, well, you won't believe this. So let us have Ms. Walton herself tell us about him. Who is this other dude?
She gave
Plus,
Brooklyn.
the other man, he will be more financially helpful. He'll be more of a father to her.
Your Honor, Brooklyn got my last name.
He will be the man that will stand up to take care of his.
Do you want to be with this other man too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now it makes sense.
Now, that's what she wants. She trying to.
That man is married? No wonder he isn't here in paternity court. She really thinks she can use a baby to get with a married man. Baby girl. His wife has kids for him too. Who says he won't be more loyal to her? Anyway, here is what the DNA test results say.
Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes. I told you. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, baby. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
Right now, you have 2 children together. Let's stop making this a fight. You understand?
Yes.
I feel like everything between you two is a fight.
Your Honor, if she can pay.
Mr. Muhammad, you got to learn when to be quiet.
Mr. Flowers may have signed Callie's birth certificate, but he is now sure that he is not her father. That is why he's brought his ex-girlfriend Ms. Diaz to court today to prove once and for all that he isn't the child's father. Ms. Diaz says she knows she cheated on Mr. Flowers, but still believes that he is her baby's daddy. Here is how that case begins.
Mr. Flowers, you have brought your ex-girlfriend to court today to prove that you are not the biological father of her 2-month-old daughter, Callie.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you were duped into naming the baby and signing her birth certificate, and now the DNA test will prove your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Phew. That is heavy, but the truth is that there is a very real possibility that Callie does not belong to Mr. Flowers. He has to face the truth, and he has decided to do so by coming to paternity court. Now let us learn why he has doubt.
I believe it. But it's more to the story she actually talking about. She liked to creep around. When I get her mad, she liked to slither away. She give me this some type of attitude like, oh, I don't want to be with you. We never gonna work. You know, except for standing still and saying, hey, let's try to make this work. Stop trying to go to the next man and find love, because your love is right here.
And there we have it, folks. That is all we needed to hear. If there could be no other possibility but Mr. Flowers, then this is a closed case, right? Mr. Flowers has to be the father, right? But we know that isn't true because this is paternity court, and we get psycho mothers and fathers at about the same rate. But how did this relationship even go?
Me and Mr. Flowers have an off and on relationship, a very rocky relationship. Met up again after high school about 3 years ago. Although we love each other, we don't get along. We're like oil and water. We fight, bicker all the time, and we're better off just as friends.
And so, is this true, Mr. Flowers?
Yes,
On and
it's true.
off,
Yes.
oil and water?
Yes. Just imagine if you was in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? What would you think and how would you feel if you was in love with 2 guys? You'll be confused too.
Let's find out. That is tough. Mr. Flowers thinks he has done enough and has seen enough, but Miss Diaz is just not being the woman he wants her to be. Let us find out how he even learnt about this nonsense with Mr. Bowman. How did that even happen?
She sleep around. So in my head, it's like, do you want me to be there because you know I'm gonna be there and you know I'm gonna be the good father? Or are you just gonna use me because you can't find these other dudes to be the father?
So you think she's saying you're the father because you're the steady Eddie?
True story.
And there we go again with the excuses. It is either their dad wasn't around, or they had a rough childhood, or they needed some attention. It is just always something with people who decide to be unfaithful. Let us learn exactly what Ms. Diaz's excuse is this time.
Mr. Flowers wasn't giving me the support I needed emotionally or financially for us to be able to make a relationship work. I'm sure that he's the father because I was only with him during the time of conception.
In orange are the dates you were intimate with Mr. Bowman.
Yes, Sean.
That would be the 8th, 9th, and 10th of August, which is the very next week.
Yes, Your Honor.
Of course, she did not tell her doctor that, because we all know what her doctor would tell her. Her doctor would have probably told her that the proximity of the sexual activity means that the other man could also be the child's father. Anyway, here is how she broke the news to Mr. Flowers.
I didn't realize
That's what you heard on your birthday that year, Mr. Flowers?
I was partying, you know what I'm saying? Like, then I get this call. I was like, I haven't saw this number in a while. You know what I'm saying? I wonder what she want. You know what I'm saying? Probably want to kick it, probably remember it's my birthday or something. And she's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, What?
Wait, so when she first got the news that she was pregnant, she was not sure that the baby belonged to Mr. Flowers, but now she is suddenly very sure that he is the father of her baby? How did that switch happen? Let's see.
Me and Mr. Bowman were friends.
And so during the pregnancy, he was around?
Hold up, what? Just friends? Nah, you didn't tell me all that. Y'all was saying, oh, we were this and that. He made me feel good and
Me and
look,
Mr. Bowman were never in a official relationship.
But during the pregnancy, you were with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
But then at the birth, Mr. Flowers was there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Flowers stepped up, but based on what we are learning now, he might have stepped up a bit too soon. Because even if he isn't the father, he might be forced to provide child support for this kid forever. Anyway, let us learn what Mr. Bowman thinks about all of this.
Do you believe Callie is your child?
No, ma'am, I do not.
You don't?
No, ma'am.
You did have sex with her, right?
We did have sex.
Without protection?
Without protection.
You understand that's how babies are made. You do?
Yeah, I do.
So I want you to explain to me, why is it you believe this child can't be yours?
During the time when the baby was conceived, when me and Miss Mia had sex, I didn't climax.
Okay, now that is a different claim. So Mr. Bowman slept with her that many times around the conception period and did not climax in any of them? You better get yourself checked, Mr. Bowman. Now that we know what all the parties think, let's check out the DNA test results.
Mr. Flowers, you are not the father. Mr. Bowman, you are not the father. Ms. Diaz, is there something else missing from the calendar?
The week after, I was intimate with another guy. In July, I was living with another guy.
Ms. Humphreys is in court to prove that Mr. Mosley is the father of her kid, but Mr. Mosley has two things to say about that. First, he insists that he wants to be with the mother of his children, and secondly, he says he knows that Ms. Humphreys slept with Mr. Cook, and he is probably the father of her kid. Here is how that case starts out.
Mr. Mosley, what is riding on today's result?
Me and Ms. Robinson been together for a minute, had rocky ups and downs in our relationship. If this is our child, then, you know, she gonna leave me, and I don't want her to leave me.
Were you in a sexual relationship with Ms. Humphreys?
Yes, I was.
Was it during the window of conception when Tyler was conceived?
No.
And that, kids, is exactly how you find yourself on paternity court. It is already irresponsible to be intimate with someone without protection when you don't want a child. But it is doubly irresponsible when you do it with two different men around the same period. And don't worry, it gets worse. Why is she so certain that Mr. Mosley is her kid's father anyway?
So why are you so certain Mr. Mosley is your child's father?
Because like I say, we were sexual when I found out what day I conceived. And that was like the end of August, the beginning of September.
But you also were having sex with the other guy during that time as well. Do you consider him as a potential father as well?
I mean, he could be, but I was more sexual, Mr. Mosley.
Wow. Okay, this is obviously true for a lot of men. A lot of men are just there for the sex, but the fact that Mr. Mosley said it in open court just shows how little he cares about Ms. Humphreys. Anyway, why does he think he isn't the father? Let's find out.
Mr. Mosley, do the dates add up in your mind as she says she was intimate with you at the end of August, beginning of September? Is that true?
Your Honor, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't even paying attention. I was there for the sex. So I don't know, you know, I just did it.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds unconvincing. At this point, I think the only reason that Mr. Mosley doubts that he is the father of these kids is because he does not want to leave his baby mother, Ms. Robinson, and he even says it.
And then this has also put your relationship with Ms. Robinson in jeopardy because you've got this baby that's potentially out there that you could have fathered while you all were separated, but
Yes.
I'm sure in the separation it wasn't part of the protocol for you to have a child.
No, it wasn't.
And there you have it, folks. It is not his fault. And if it is not his fault, why should anyone blame him? This is a kind and honest man who was tricked by wicked women into cheating on one and maybe impregnating the other. Can we really blame him? Anyway, here is Ms. Robinson's incredible testimony.
So Mr. Mosley says this is all your fault.
No,
This would not be happening if you had not left him, so you can blame yourself.
No, this is his fault. This is his fault, and this is her fault. And my thing is this: he's been doing things with women. This is the pinch of it. compared to what I've been going through in the last 7.5 years.
It looks like Ms. Humphries doesn't care about Ms. Robinson at all. She doesn't even want her to get involved. But that is impossible because she has 2 kids with this man already. Ms. Humphries still insists that none of this is her business.
I had nothing to do with what y'all had going on.
But you kept involving yourself. Why?
How does
Ladies,
she know what I'm saying?
ladies, let's calm down. Look,
She always got
you
something to
do understand why Ms. Robinson is so upset.
I
They have 2
don't.
children together. So you don't think she has a reason to be mad?
No, I don't.
And why?
Because she knew about this.
Okay, but that is a weird response to someone running their mouth. Why would Ms. Humphries change her claim about Mr. Mosley being her child's father just because of his baby mama? At least Ms. Humphries and Mr. Mosley are not sleeping together right now, right? Let us see.
Ms. Humphries, what is the nature of your relationship with Mr. Mosley now?
We still sexual. We still, we friends.
So you still have sex with Ms. Humphries?
I have, yeah.
And still going to continue to once this is done.
Yes.
See? Yes, drama.
No, it's the truth.
He is not in love with her, but he loves her. Well, what can I say? We stan a honest king. Not everyone will have the courage to out themselves as a sleazy dude on national TV, but Mr. Mosley has the guts. There is another man in this mix. Let us see what he has to say.
To tell you the truth, I do not know. I mean, I would love to be his father, but them 2, they perfect for each other, because they both liars.
Yes.
They both liars.
Yes.
They perfect for each other.
I'm a liar and I
They
came
both
for
are
both
liars.
of y'all. I
They
told
perfect,
both of
especially
y'all
him.
from the
I ain't
beginning.
lying. He a liar too.
This is crazy. Ms. Humphries and Mr. Mosley are perfect for each other, and the only thing we can hope for is that they get their act together for this baby. That is if the baby belongs to Mr. Mosley. But now, Ms. Humphries wants to tell us the truth.
Ms. Humphries, are you telling him that he's the child's father? And you're telling Mr. Mosley he's the child's father?
Wow.
But I'm the only one that's doing
She's
something
not
for the
lying
child.
now. She's telling the truth. Why is that your approach?
Because I was having unprotected sex with Mr. Cook and I was having unprotected sex with Mr. Mosley.
But you didn't tell either man that the other one was a possibility.
I did.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Here is her truth. What? Really? That is her excuse? If you can do whatever you want and whatever you want ends up getting you on paternity court, you should probably lay off doing whatever you want for a while because you are clearly the worst person to choose whatever they want. Anyway, here is what the DNA test results have to say.
His biological father is Mr. Cook.
Good.
Congratulations, Mr. Cook.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does it feel good to finally know for sure?
Mm-hmm.
And now you know that everything you've done for this child has not been in vain?
Ms. Foster said she planned her pregnancy with her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Jackson, but he abandoned her all of a sudden and now says he is not the father of her child. She is here to prove that he is the father and get him to be a responsible father. Here is how that case begins.
Mr. Jackson, you say Ms. Foster cheated on you multiple times during your relationship, and there is no way you are Jakia's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Foster, tell us, why do you need to open your case?
I'm opening this case today because, Your Honor, I have a 1-year-old child who we plan on having. She looks like him.
Beautiful.
She acts like him. He doesn't step up to nothing.
Okay. Mr. Jackson says that just because he says something does not mean he actually means it. So sometimes he just be lying, and he wants Ms. Foster to take that in good faith. How did this crazy relationship even begin?
Ma'am, Your Honor, this relationship started through social media. We found each other through Facebook.
Social media, I should have known. No wonder we talking about social media. Okay, go ahead.
We found each other through social media, so we had a mutual friend. They vouched for him, said he was a good person, so we jumped into a relationship. I had my first child of us staying together. He told me I was going to be his baby's mother.
Now, I don't know about you, Ms. Foster, but the best mother in the world would not be in paternity court, and she definitely would not admit to cheating on her boyfriend with a man she used to call her brother. How does that story even end? Let us find out.
Basically what the story was, she already came to my house pregnant by her so-called brother, you feel me? And it was like I mentioned it to her, you feel me? She using me for a place to
I
stay.
can't come nowhere pregnant
all
if I
type of
just had a
stuff.
baby. Yes.
He thinks you all are boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. That does not sound like what the best mother in the world would do. She basically lied to Mr. Jackson that this other gentleman was her brother, when in actual fact he was the father of her first baby, and she was sleeping with him as well. Hold on, because it gets worse.
So you think you in a relationship, but she's sleeping with your friend?
Yes, at
No,
my
Your
mama's
Honor.
house.
No, Your Honor. We
Yes,
were not
you were.
together when he left. We were not together.
But you still in my
after
mama's house
February
when I left,
21st.
though, you feel me?
That's pointless. I mean, that matters nothing to me.
How many times I was
mean,
like,
you left,
you know,
you
kick
brought
her
me
out.
her, you left
But
to
her
go
and my
be with
mama
somebody
get back
else.
cool for
Me
some
and my
reason.
baby stayed. That's just what it was.
She is 20 and already has to be a single mom to 2 kids? That is insane already. Protection cannot be that expensive, seriously. And now she is on paternity court and might not even be sure who the real father of her second kid is. Anyway, let's find out more.
The baby Kaya, that she was pregnant with, the man Marquise already in the phone talking about that was his child. She came to my house pregnant. I didn't hear from her after I came to Chicago until she had the baby. She was 6 months when I first heard about her.
Oh,
you know?
look at that. Miss Foster, I do have to ask you this.
Okay.
Okay, she is pretty sure that Mr. Jackson is the father because of that 2-week spree of shooting everywhere. And she has even much stronger evidence that she thinks proves her case. Let's find out.
My conception day said February 21st is when you were fertilized. You were still there. So.
But didn't you also admit you were having sex with both guys? Because if he could have 2 girlfriends, you could have 2 boyfriends?
That is so crazy. Miss Foster is trying to be a smart mouth by waving her degree in our faces. And now Judge Lake has put her in her place. If she is smart enough to go to medical school, she should have been smart enough not to end up in paternity court. Anyway, there is more.
Were you having a sexual relationship with the other guy at the same time you were having it with Mr. Jackson?
Not the exact same time. No, Your Honor, I was not.
So it is your testimony that during the window of conception, you only slept with Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor. Then the next day,
So
she
you
went
have
bathroom.
never seen this baby in person?
No.
In your life?
No.
Never hugged her, never nothing?
And that is something that always happens in paternity court. When men and women want to make a baby, they know exactly what to do and what position to do it in. When it is time to actually take care of the baby, everyone becomes clueless. But here is more.
Okay, look, Your Honor, exactly why he said that. He just, like a month ago, came down to St. Louis to go pick up his brother. His girlfriend texted my phone. We would like to see Kaya. I said, that's fine. You guys cannot take her out, but you guys can meet her. I waited at my house for a whole weekend for them. No show. Oh, Sean's getting ready to bring her some diapers. No show. But I'm communicating with your girlfriend because you won't talk to me.
We are supposed to believe that? Really? Well, this argument has gone on for long enough. Ms. Foster insists that Mr. Jackson is definitely the father of the baby. There is only one way to find out whether she is lying or not. Let us see the DNA test results.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Foster versus Jackson, when it comes to Jakaya, it has been determined by this Mr. Jackson. You are not the father.
Ms. Day says she might tell us a joke, but will never tell us a lie. And the truth she is telling us today is that Mr. Harrington is either the father of her child or she is the Virgin Mary. And since there are no virgins in paternity court, we don't know what to believe. Anyway, here is how that insane case begins.
Ms. Day, you say you would never attempt to pin a baby on a man without being sure he is the father. You believe the DNA results will put an end to all of the rumors. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Harrington, you say she's pinning a baby on you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
So he thinks that she just wants him to be the father so that she can get a good father for her kid. Mr. Harrington is telling us here that he is such a good father that his baby mama wants him to be a father to her other kid. That is kind of blowing your own trumpet, but the logic holds up. What does Ms. Day think?
What do you do?
He is not the father of my child. I am the Virgin Mary. There's no other possibilities. I have not been messing around with anybody else throughout the time that we were messing around.
So you are 100% positive Mr. Harrington is your child's biological father?
The Virgin Mary would definitely not do it at the hospital, so I am kind of pushed to believe Ms. Day here. She has such a straightforward recollection of the facts that you have to think Mr. Harrington is telling a lie. Let us hear his response to this.
After that...
Yeah, we did, but at the end of the day, it wasn't in November. First of all, she didn't even tell me that she was pregnant. I had to find out through an anonymous texter that...
How did you find out she was pregnant?
An anonymous texter, I swear. We got into a conversation, I got the text right here.
Oh, That does not look or sound like something any man would want to ignore. Is Ms. Day absolutely certain that this kid belongs to Mr. Harrington? Because if this text is real, it means that there is some anonymous doubt somewhere. And it gets worse.
Yup, can't tell you who I am. She won't tell me nothing else. And she was blanking guy number 2. And then you write back, word.
Yeah, I said word.
That's how you found out she was pregnant,
yes,
though.
That's exactly.
Never mind guy number 1 and guy number 2.
Yeah, that's how I found out. Then I asked my sister, I called her, whatever. I was like, so I heard you was hiding the pregnancy. She was like,
wait, what? You don't answer his calls on a daily basis, but somehow found time to sleep with him? And now you insist that he is the father of your baby? Why would you even ignore the calls of the father of the baby in your stomach? This is a real puzzle, and it is about to get even more confusing.
I did tell you I was
pregnant. No, you didn't. I found out in January.
I found out in January, too. That's when I went to go. Your Honor,
Lord have mercy.
When I found out that I was pregnant.
So all them missed periods
in January.
All them missed periods.
When I went to go and do my MRI.
You know you got 2 other kids.
For my brain study. So when I found out, I was already 4 months pregnant.
What? She found out she was pregnant at 4 months. Wait, hold up. Ms. Day actually wants us and Mr. Harrington to believe that she only found out that she was going to have a baby 4 months after she conceived? Maybe she is the Virgin Mary after all. Let us find out more.
It was only a week, probably like a week span of time.
Yeah, you sound right.
And how do I sound?
Like
somebody telling the truth,
like you're trying to, like what you do all the time. You try to work around a lot. You're working around a lot right now.
The message, it wasn't. There is a guy number 1 and a guy number 2, but not a guy number 1 and a guy number 2 potentially to be my child's father.
Okay, now we are getting somewhere. Ms. Day insists that she currently has 2 guys in her life, but she only started messing with them after she got pregnant. But how does she really know this when she only knew she was pregnant 4 months later? Well, let's see what else is happening here.
You showed up for the birth as the daddy?
No.
Yes,
I didn't even sign a birth certificate. How?
You didn't sign a birth certificate, but you wanted to give her your last name?
So, Miss Day, I want to understand this. You believe he accepted the baby at the hospital?
He did.
He accepted you never expressed anything to you that this is not my baby?
No, ma'am.
I'm her sister, her older sister.
Her older sister. And what do you know about the birth of Nalani that would indicate, since you are her witness, that Mr. Harrington is Nalani's biological father?
Oh, now it makes sense. Ms. Day thinks the reason that Mr. Harrington is going through this theater is because he does not want his current girlfriend to leave him. But Mr. Harrington thinks that is complete nonsense. Here is how he puts it.
I wasn't even finishing her, you know. I wasn't finishing. We was doing, I was like a chauffeur. I was in and out, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why.
You didn't complete the sexual act, so you don't feel like
Because he acting. How do you deny and deny and deny? And you're denying for these girlfriends.
Hold on. I want to be clear about your hope.
Wait, are you no longer the Virgin Mary Ms. Day? Because this sounds a whole lot like not really Virgin Mary territory. There could be one other person. Well, the only way to clear this up would be to see the DNA test results for ourselves.
Harrington versus Day. When it comes to 1 month old Nalani Day, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Harrington, you are not the father.
What?
Told you, bro.
Are you serious?
Told you. Can I Millie Rock?
No, you can't.
Sorry.
Ms. Sanders admits that she messed up by allowing another man to sign 6-year-old Caleb's birth certificate, but now insists that Mr. Brady here, whose name was not even on the birth certificate, is her child's father. Here is how this crazy episode begins.
You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Brady is your son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brady, you claim it is genetically impossible. Does he visit the baby?
I came through the neighborhood one day,
reason why
and he asked me if he could see my baby.
Why would I take care of a baby that's not mine? Why would I visit a baby that's not mine?
Look how pretty my baby is. How can you deny a pretty baby?
Okay, you might not like this man's tone, but he's got a point. He does not care about whether the baby is pretty or not. All he cares about is whether the baby is his. The world has a lot of pretty babies, but that does not mean Mr. Brady gets to claim them all. So what's next? Let's find out.
Why do you doubt this beautiful baby is yours?
The first thing is the green eyes. No one in my family has green eyes. May I show you, Your Honor?
Yes.
Starting with my grandparents.
There are many places the baby could get green eyes from, Mr. Brady. Maybe this child is a child of some mythical prophecy. You cannot know that now, can you? So what does Ms. Sanders have to say about this?
Green eyes?
When my
and that
grandmother
genetic
first
trait in her family.
When my grandmother first seen Caleb, she said, those are my father's eyes. You don't know what's down in your gene pool.
He probably got brown eyes too. You ain't seen him.
What are the other reasons why you doubt this child is yours?
Because it's constant stuff coming up with Karen, like all the time. Like,
what do you mean? Explain.
When I first came and found out about the baby, I didn't find out through Catherine. I found out through a friend who seen it on Facebook. And
oh, you would know about her being the handful, wouldn't you? That is what is so common here in paternity court. Parents always know how to get around sleeping with each other, but when the baby comes, all of that knowledge just flies away. Suddenly, someone becomes too annoying, too broke, or even, as Mr. Brady puts it, a handful. So what happens next? Let us see.
He was playing me from the left because I didn't want to be with him no more. So he got mad because I got back with my ex. He said he don't want me, but he constantly takes my phone, somebody, so what's up?
I come to the house, dudes coming and going all the time. Like, I left her house.
How you gonna tell me that dude's coming and going, but you not?
I left her house and the dude came through, the same dude who she was texting.
How you gonna get
came through while I was pulling off.
Well, here is the thing. Mr. Brady has already said he doesn't feel like he should have to take care of this kid no matter what. So, the fact that he has not done anything for this baby is really just not that surprising. But here is something that is surprising.
He never even cared. I don't think he cared about was some shoes. When I first told him that I was pregnant, I called Mr. Brady and I told him, I said, I'm pregnant. I want to let you know. He just sat on the phone, didn't say anything. I'm saying, hello.
Anna, she let another man sign the birth certificate.
Yes, I did let another man sign the birth certificate, but when I first told him I was pregnant, when the doctor told me the times, and when I was with him.
Really? He asked about some shoes when Ms. Sanders tried to talk to him about his kid? I don't know about you, but that sounds very embarrassing, and Mr. Brady still does not care. Anyway, let us learn more about this birth certificate business.
So he never had a job or anything, so why would I put a baby on somebody who couldn't even help me take care of the baby?
But he says you had another man sign the birth certificate.
Yes, my ex-boyfriend, before me and Jamaris got together, I was with someone. And to get back at my ex-boyfriend, me and Jamaris started talking. So after me and him stopped talking, I got back with my ex. And my ex, he was real.
Okay, now we are getting some clarity. The ex-boyfriend knows he isn't the father, so he signed the birth certificate despite knowing he wasn't the father just so he could take care of the kid. And this ex-boyfriend has taken a paternity test result that shows that he isn't the father of the kid anyway. So Mr. Brady has to be the father, right? Well, let's see.
You found out that he was not the father.
Yes.
And after you got that conclusion, you knew that at this point, Mr. Brady was the only other option?
Yes.
And you're positive that he was the only other option?
Yes.
Why would you put another man's name on the birth certificate as father? Because your boyfriend could have still stepped up.
When she was texting the dude at work, my coworker.
I don't understand why he keeps saying his coworker when he never had a job. So what coworker is he talking about?
Your Honor, I've been working for 9 months consecutive.
Yeah, that was kind of harsh. If the man says he has a coworker, then he has a coworker. What are you going to do? And it is funny how Ms. Sanders insists that Mr. Brady is the only possibility for her baby's father, yet we know that things are never what they seem on paternity court. Anyway, let's learn more.
This coworker.
We was on the line one day. I used his phone to call someone. A number comes through, which is Miss Sanders' phone number.
I don't know. It wasn't.
So are you saying this was during the window of conception, so you believe she was also sleeping with your coworker when she was sleeping with you?
Yes, ma'am, I do. You called.
I called somebody. Which one was it?
We both know I don't get mad about it. I don't get mad.
So you gonna get mad?
She just said it herself, Your Honor.
So you saying that you not mad about me texting somebody or calling somebody, but you. Okay.
So you saw this number. You saw this number come through.
I waited.
Did you have?
Ms. Sanders is so certain of what she's saying, and almost everyone in the audience believes her now. That is the crazy thing of boiter psychos. You literally never know when they are telling the truth or not. Here is the DNA test's verdict, and the result will definitely shock you.
Paired by DNA diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Sanders versus Brady, pertaining to 6-month-old Caleb Robbins. Brady, you are not.
I told her that wasn't my baby, Your Honor.
Sit down.
I told her.
Sit down over there.
Come in front of this podium.
Stand right where you're standing.